Hey guys, welcome to this Runeterra Rising game. I'm Luis, also known as Unc Luis or Pensive, and we're gonna go into this upper bracket game, semifinals, between the two captains of Linium versus, I think it's Waka, but Waka is not playing. They have a substitute, which is Maraka. Um, for those interested, that is Demacia for the side of Linium. And if I'm not mistaken, Waka is the Avarosans, also known as Freljord. Now, this here is the first semifinals, I believe, or have we already shown the other one? No, it's the second semifinal, sorry. Yeah, so we already saw the turnout of Piltover versus. Let me just check who it was. Sorry, guys. Uh-uh. Ionia, Mismatches team. So we saw that one. For spoiler alert, Piltover won. And now we're seeing the second semifinals, which is, of course, Demacia versus Freljord to see who will take them on in the finals. Bit of aggressive trading going out through this game. Looks like all lanes are trying to get some sort of holding. Very weird, obviously, in the top side with the Rel versus Kane. I know Nessie loves to play that Rel top lane. And Linium, I don't think we've seen him in Kane this season just yet. I think it's our first time showing. Should be very, very cool. Um, Obviously, guys, we did skip the draft. We're not going to be showing the draft for any of the three games, just because it's quite a few to get through. Want to make sure we can get through all of them. It is a best of five series after all, so we'll see how everything goes. Fantastic. And as you guys can see as well, I believe Kazel is jungling now for Freljord. Normally it's Sunny in the jungle, North Stream in the AD carry slot, and who is their usual mid laner? I cannot remember. Uh, I'll look it up now. Kazel is usually the mid laner, actually. So a bit of a switcheroo on where each role is going. Kazel jungle, North Stream mid, and Sunny AD carry. Sunny, of course, is an AD carry main, so it is his normal role. North Stream is a mid lane, so it's his normal role as well. I don't know about Kazel. And I believe on the side of Demacia, everyone's on their main role. As wow, quite the tower dive there to take down the Rel on this Master Yi jungle, getting the first blood. Xin Zhao trying his best here, although he's in a 2v1, maybe biting more off than he can chew, and will go down for a second kill to Master Yi. That is not what you want this early on. Master Yi, absolutely a champion that can run away with kills and snowball a game out of control. Not the best of starts right now for the side of the Freljords. So let's see. Zir taking a bit of a beating. Will need to recall very soon, but he should be able to hold this wave out. Rise looking for the dive, finds it with a quick 1-2 combo. Norshim will go down. Things are just turning from bad to worse for the side of Freljord. As the bot lane as well is starting to suffer quite a bit of poke. Sorry, on the this is on the other side. Apologies. As the first dragon of the game has spawned, Master Yi in a good spot to be able to take that right off the bat once his bot lane comes back. As they should know, that the bot side of Freljord does have to recall here. Kane doing what Kane does, punishing this rel pick by being able to proxy and do basically whatever he wants. I'm not really sure how Rel can stop him in any way. With the ever-looming presence of Bard as well, roaming around the map. As we see the start of the first dragon by the side of Demacia, it should go to them uncontested. They're just not in position to be able to contest that one. But instead, no, a gank going down the bot lane. They were over-aggressing onto Yunara, exactly falling into their plans as a flash is forced out. Master Yi follows the Caitlyn through her flash. It's a lot of damage down on her. However, has he bit off more than he can chew? He's in a bit of trouble now, gets knocked up, is taken down, a shutdown over to the Xin Zhao. But here comes Rise with the Realm Warp, finds the root, but not able to find a kill. What looked to be a fantastic play from Demacia turns on its head, and just means that that safe and easy dragon they could have taken is no longer on the table at this point. Xin Zhao resetting with a nice shutdown, should be back out and quite strong to fight. Master Yi, I imagine, will go to his top camps, as they should be spawning any moment now. As a solo plate there, we'll go over to the Bard. Looks like the Kane being a nuisance, trying to take or mess with the Xin Zhao at his blue, but nothing will come of it. It's a good bit of trading. Fantastic stun by the Bard. Yunara has hit level 6 and will absolutely decimate the bot lane. But a kill is found back by the Caitlyn. However, Bard is here to clean it up. Junglers seem to be going clear for clear here. That usually favors Master Yi right now. Xin really wants to get some impact in the early game. I expect the next big fight to happen down at the Dragon, as Kane is starting to just create an absolutely ridiculous, insane lead, CS lead at this point. But never count Nessie out on that rel. Quite well known for their performance on it. $85 CS at 8 minutes. Yikes. As Bard, trying to go for a cheeky invade, ends up taking the wrong end of Xin Zhao's spear. Bit of damage. However, the lanes look primed and ready for Master Yi to start this dragon. But no, instead they opt to go look for another cheeky gank. Get some priority in the bot lane. Everyone's just feeling themselves out, trying to get everything going. And it looks like Freljord has decided to just not contest this dragon. It's not worth it. As the first dragon of the game is picked up at 9 minutes by the side of Demacia. As Rise keeps taking fantastic trade after fantastic trade, looking really rough for North Stream there. Grubs have spawned, but not able to start to be taken by anybody just yet. As a little bit of a fight breaks out, a bit of damage going down to the side of Demacia. Have to be careful as we know Master Yi is not around to bail them out this time. As Master Yi is taking both the top Scuttle Crab and the Grubs for completely free, completely uncontested. That is rough if you're on the Freljord side. Kane is almost 30 CS ahead as well, so we know that he has full prio. Same with the mid lane. It's just CS is evenish, but prio is definitely favoring the Rise. Both sides with quite a bit of scaling. However, I would definitely favor the side of Demacia. I think their skilling's a bit better, but you always have to be careful of the long range from Freljord. It was quite a down quite a bit, not a lot of aggressive trading or fostering happening. So once again, coming to the top lane, we just watch her entire lane be proxied, Kane basically saying, "You want to hit me? Go for it. I really don't care." He's 50 CS almost in the lead now. Should be hard for Rel to pick up every minion. Does get slightly pushed off by the Xin Zhao. His Bard ult goes wide, looking for the gank here. Inara does find a bit of a slow, but eats the trap in return, and it's a gank that just did not quite pan out for them. Master Yi able to take one so quickly. Goes forward, finds the full damage onto the Karma. Karma forces last away. Same with the Caitlyn. A lot of damage coming down, but Yunara eats everything to the face. Goes down. Bard now in trouble. Able to walk away with his life. Bit of over aggression from Demacia on the bottom side of the map. They keep trying to make something work, make something happen. It's just not quite functioning for them there. As this top lane tower should be going down any moment now to the king. Rel will just not be able to do anything in response. Kane just doing what he wants. Has not unlocked form just yet. There's a bit of aggression going on here in the top side. Kane caught out. Does end up going down with a quite a decent shutdown there. Even though the game has been so quiet, has been forming such a high CS lead. Has gotten himself. But Master Yi's here to avenge his fallen comrade. Takes a smite on the Gromp, kills the Xin Zhao. Rel now found with no mana, nothing to do. But she is quite tanky, so she will take a while to take down. However, Master Yi says, "I don't care." With that Kraken already completed, eats him alive, and is able to walk away scot-free. What looked like an overstep at first from the side of the Demacia turns out pretty good for them in the end. Sorry about the graphic there, guys. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. We'll get it fixed for you shortly. There we are, guys. Got it sorted for you. Bard ult goes wide once again. Master Yi is here, but will they find any sort of aggression? No. Instead, Yunara is going to eat a load of damage, taking down to under half HP already. Seems like each time they try this, there's just not enough setup to catch this Karma and Caitlyn. As the dragon is swiftly taken by the Master Yi, who is quite ahead at this point. But here's Kane, finds a great flank onto the Xin Zhao. Rel is here to match and is taking the Kane on a little trip. He is on his own. Xin Zhao doing the same, and top laner for jungler will go down. And it looks like that will be all for this fight. Not much really happening. Both both players seem to try and go 1v10. Azir has now finished his first item, same with the Rise. And the bot lane tower will go down in favor of Freljord. It is a relatively even game when you look at the stats overall. However, these CS leads are really causing a bit of an issue. Master Yi, 40 ahead of his opponent. Kane, 44 ahead of his opponent. And even with Caitlyn having, 40 CS on her opponent with few kills in lead, is just a bit too much right now. Master Yi is 5-1. He's the scary one, the one that you need to stop. And there might be enough CC on their side of failure to do it. But a very slippery champion. Let me take a look, Chris. See what's going on there. What the heck was that? Anyway, yes, Sorrel top. Herald being claimed over by the side of Demacia. They've gotten just about everything at this point. One grub was taken away, but aside from that, everything's gone over to the side of Demacia. That poor player. As Bardold hitting, this time the Caitlyn in complete trouble. Master Yi is here, does attempt to flash away, but followed by the Alpha Strike. Karma now in massive amounts of trouble herself. Master Yi will continue to go forward. Gets rooted, but does not matter in the end. Is able to drop the tower aggro just in time for Bart to take it, and he gets away scot-free as this decimation continues. Master Yi seems to be basically unstoppable at this point. The Shelly is summoned, will be taking down this tier 1 tower. As not much else is really able to be found. But at this point, if you're on the side of Freljord, just what can you do? You're in such a rough spot. This Master Yi is getting completely out of control. Trying to keep him, down is not easy. Your hard forms of CC are all on your top laner, who is 70 CS down at this point, almost Flame Horizoned. It's just a bit rough. It's not an easy thing to do. Both Karma and Xin Zhao need time to be able to get their CC up. Caitlyn, well, unless Master Yi walks into a trap, can't do anything about it. And the Azir, maybe you can hit him with the wall, but it's really, really difficult. Bard taking a little bit of damage. Xin Zhao follows him through the portal. That cannot have been intended, as he's now in massive amounts of trouble. Will find the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao will get stunned up. And even though he uses his ultimate to get away, just is not able to. As a huge fight breaks out in the mid lane, Master Yi finding whatever he wants to do, kills the Caitlyn. And that should be 4 for 1, maybe a complete ace here for Demacia. 4 for 0 right as Dragon spawns is just not what you want. This Bard is a menace. Does not care. as another pick down in the bot lane is found as they walk away scot-free. At this point, I don't think the side of Failure will be given the time to scale as Bard comes through after his mid laner has walked away. Does find the ultimate, but Azir flashes away to safety. Rise flashing in response as well to get away from the Karma. As gotta think what exactly was being thought at with this Rel pick in the top lane. It just hasn't really done anything yet. And as the game progresses, I don't imagine they'll be able to. Kane, of course, went Red Kane and is just kind of running the Rel over. Oh, Kane bit off more than he could chew there with a tower dive, finding quite a few tower shots to his face, with the Caitlyn able to take him down with that ultimate. Rise now in trouble, and a similar thing. Some crossplay inting from Demasia's side, both of their solo laners biting off more than they can chew and just eat dust for it. As it looks like Freljord is feeling themselves to maybe try a Baron play here. However, Master Yi is still around, Yunara is still around, two very strong members of Demacia. Looks like Master Yi is being chased down by the Karma and the Well, as Xin and Caitlyn continue to do the Baron. Can they buy enough time? Kane will be teleporting in. The Baron has been stopped, which is exactly what they were looking for. Now they have to be careful not to be caught out, as both Kane and Rise are on the map. And Baron is successfully stopped after some misstepping from the solo laners of Demacia. As another fight breaking out right in the jungle. You imagine that Kane going a bit deep, but nope, doesn't matter. Able to get out scot-free. Rel getting away with a slither of HP. Karma also forced to flash away. A lot of ultimates used, a lot of pushing away. This should be this tier 2 mid tower going down to the side of Demacia. This dragon's about a minute from spawning. Quite slow dragon take in this game. Unless the graphic is not showing right. Was it? I believe there was a third dragon that was already taken. But I may be mistaken. As it looks like Freljord has found the way in to the Dragon Pit first. However, they're starting to get a bit sandwiched. Xin Zhao, trying to fight the Master Yi, is just going to get slaughtered, but able to get away with 1 HP, just barely. Master Yi now finds himself in really low, but it's not enough, as the rest of Demacia is here to make sure that their jungler is safe. They take down 3 members from Freljord. Xin Zhao and Azir now caught at the wrong place. Azir will be going down here, and Xin Zhao should be soon to follow. As that is another clean ace for the side of Demacia. Mountain Dragon will go down to Demacia as well, and this should be a Baron. And I do not expect this game to go on much longer than this. Yeah. If I'm on the side of Freljord right now, I'm just thinking, how can I make sure the next game doesn't go this way? And as we can see, it was indeed Dragon Soul that was claimed. It is Mountain Soul. For the graphic, I'm not sure why it's showing just 3 dragons, but does not really matter. With just top lane having its last outer turret down, I could see maybe a 4-1 push from the side of Demacia in top and middle lane or top and bot lane. Looks like they are pushing in all waves right now. Rise should be looking to join this team very shortly. As Kane picks up that tier 2 in the top lane, Freljord can do nothing but watch and wait. Xin Zhao in a little bit of a no man's land right now. Should know better than to be here. He's not really able to do this while he's getting collapsed on. He will be going down here to Kane and Yunara. His team's just too little too late, not able to help him. Big misstep from Xin Zhao there. As now the tier 3 tower, inhibitor tower, is under siege. As Kane will be sieging the top tower by himself. Yunara on the mid lane as everyone is shifted over to the bot side. But without Xin, I don't believe Freljord can really engage here. Not really able to find anything. Kane taking down this top tower. Inhibitor in trouble. A very slow bleed from Freljord here. As all 3 towers look to be falling here, all 3 inhibitors should be falling, and that's 3 inhibitors with Baron empowered minions. I don't know of any team that can really hold this kind of push, this aggression. Very well played from the side of Demacia. And maybe a bit back to the drawing board for Freljord. As Freljord are doing their damnedest to try and fight this out, but they're just not able to find anything. Rel will go down, Azir will go down. Master Yi also going down in response. A good Azir ultimate. Emperor's Divide able to find that. Rise in a bit of trouble now. However, Kane making sure those towers get taken down. Yunara is still alive. Has to be careful though. Caitlyn is still quite strong. Xin Zhao will get taken down as the Nexus is under fire. And that's all she wrote for game number 1, guys. We'll be back shortly with game number 2. See you soon. Hey guys, there we are. Welcome back, guys, and we're here for game number 2, ready to go. As we see, same sides for both teams with some classic matchups. Oriana versus Syndra, Renekton and Ornn. Corki Nami, very powerful, versus Ezreal Nico. However, in the jungle we have Nefiri versus Pantheon. Nefiri picked up quite a bit. Quite a bit. Quite a few different lanes. Commonly used one, although I know to a lot of people not the best one. I'm not a huge fan of it myself. It was quite a bit of damage being taken down by the Nico in this bot lane, but in return, Ezreal deals some to the Nami. Both junglers are clearing away from each other. Nefiri going towards the bot side, Pantheon towards the top side. Nefiri just slightly ahead on her clear, as you would expect, as Pantheon has been nerfed quite a bit in terms of clear speed. Not really able to keep up with most junglers these days. Little surprised to see the Pantheon going top, however. As Renekton Ornn, not usually the most volatile lane. As Syndra finding a good bit of damage onto the Oriana this time around. Looking a bit better for North Stream compared to the previous game, where Wesley was able to just beat up on North Stream. As a dive coming in, very, very well executed dive by the Pantheon to help this Renekton get that first blood against the Ornn, which can definitely tilt this matchup quite a bit. Normally Ornn quite safe into Renekton. And we can see why Pantheon decided to go topside this time. Get that early dive, find that kill. Things continue underway, quite quiet overall. First dragon spotting very soon. As it looks like Renekton looking to proxy potentially. Nope, deciding just to go for a deep ward. You're going right back to lane. Help spot out the enemy jungler as much as he can. As Ornn is once again about half HP in this top lane. Pantheon is pathing topside. They could be looking for a repeat of what just happened a few moments ago. Ornn respectfully walking away from the Renekton. Sending under tower. Completing his chain vest. Quite a quiet game, but Nefiri starting off this dragon as she knows that Pantheon was pathing bot to top from the earlier dive. Nami and Corki joining the Nefiri to make sure they get this dragon. However, a collapse is looking to be had from both teams here. Dragon at 1800 HP, 1400, almost going down. And it will be picked up. No, not before Nami falls. If he does end up getting it, but Nami is dead, it's a 4v3. Pantheon taken very low. A great stun onto the Orianna, forcing a flash away in response. It is a kill on the Pantheon in trade of the Dragon. I would favor that to the Freljord team, taking that Dragon. Looked like Neferia was doing it with a 600 smite, so it took a bit longer than they would have wanted. But a nice change from the previous game where Freljord was just not able to pick up any dragons. As the Fury is here in the top lane, looking to potentially help Ornn get this Gator down. As Ornn will find him, Renekton in a bit of trouble, pops a Dominus, trying to get away, but no, Neferia will pick up that kill. As wow, double flash from the Demacian bot lane to try and pick up the Nami, who went very low, but a well-timed W able to get her out of that situation. Pantheon is here, but he's taking a ton of damage. Tanking the tower will go down for a shutdown to Corki. A bit of an overplay. Ezreal now in trouble, and that's a double kill. Going over to the Corki with Nico, getting away with a sliver of HP. I'm not sure about that one. A bit of a... not a great dive. As on the flip side this time, Freljord looks to have the upper hand right now, doing quite well. Renekton does have about an 18 CS lead. Got mid lane and bot lane both have about 10 each for the side of Freljord. And the Neferia as well, having quite a bit ahead of the Pantheon. However, this top tower is taking a beating. Already down to just a singular plate. As Pantheon picks up the grubs, Neferia just on the bot side, not really able to do anything to punish that. However, Pantheon does have a bunch of camps still up. She is starting to get away with a 20 CS or so lead on this Neferia. But once Pantheon clears, he should be caught up. But he is deciding to... Yes, he's deciding to go back to clearing. I thought he was going to look mid. We'll have to see where this Grand Starfall will be used. Things have quieted down a bit, once again. Renekton, however, climbing to a 30 CS lead. Ornn looking for a roam into the mid lane, not really finding anything. Going to cost him the push on this top lane tower. He's still looking in the mid lane, uses the ultimate, finds the Orianna, and between Syndra and Neferia, all three ultimates used, will take the Orianna. However, this top lane tower will fall because of it. I'm not so sure Ornn was necessary for this play. Or if all three ults were even technically necessary. Neferia, however, in the top side, they might be looking to take this Renekton down. Does have a full level lead on the Ornn and 2 on the Neferia. As Renekton, chasing around the jungle, finds himself in a 2v1, but he fancies his chances. Does not even pop the Dominus yet. Does take the top tower down for first tower gold. As Syndra is found in the mid lane by Pantheon and Orianna, get a bit of vengeance for the earlier play. Ezreal, however, falling incredibly low, will find the kill over to the Nami. However, Corki will find the second one on the Nico. As a dive seems to be planned for this top lane between Pantheon and Renekton versus Neferia and Ornn. Although, gotta think this might be a little bit presumptuous as the Freljord team will be coming out of base and should be able to answer this if they actually go for it. And they call it off. Very wise. As Nico finds the ultimate onto the Syndra. Syndra in a lot of trouble. However, Nami is here and Fury is here, and they will make sure that the mid-laner gets away scot-free. As teleport is coming down from the Ornn and the Renekton. The dragon has spawned. Both teams are making a play for it. Has been started by Nefiri. And a big engage onto the Syndra. That has to flash away from the flash stun from Pantheon. Pantheon, however, will die in response. Nico being chased down by the Nefiri. Renekton's in the backline by himself. 1 versus 3. Will he be able to do anything here? No. He will also be taken down. What was a play that was initiated by the side of Demacia ends up not going very well for them. Bit of over-aggression and overstepping. Especially with the knowledge that both that Nico stun Nico ult was down. Gotta imagine that was maybe not the best play to make. That is second dragon being picked up to the side of Freljord. And we have Mountain Soul once again available and on the table as the mountain map comes into place. Renekton trying to be cheeky and get some of the enemy's jungle. Will be found by Nefiri and now by Ornn. But is able to get away using his slice and dice ability. To little consequence, as there's also a plant there to heat him up, some of that nice juicy fruit. A fairly even game with a slight lead to Freljord right now. Especially with the two dragons stacking. Pantheon there, finding quite a bit of chunk of damage onto the Nami. Nami in trouble, forced to use the ultimate, the tidal wave, and Ornn ult to get her out of it. Pantheon continuing to aggress, however, will go down as he has 4 members just hitting him very hard. Orianna now in trouble. Renekton is here as well to save the day, but can he really help anyone? Can he help himself at this point? Goes onto the Nami. Nami able to flash away. Orianna just getting away with a slither of HP. As the fight continues, the Renekton is a very, very scary crocodile. Or gator. As he is stunned up in the middle of 3 members. Will be able to find something. Oh! Nico finding the kill onto the Nami. Renekton will go down in response, but Nico finding another kill onto the Nefiri for a nice shutdown. Very extended fight here in the mid lane. 2 kills going over to Nico. And the Pantheon, don't forget, did fall. He has to respawn at this point. That's how long that fight was. As things continue on, a bit of aggression being looked for. Pantheon caught on the wrong side of the wall. Is able to get away, flashes away from the tidal wave to make sure he's not continuously CC'd. A bit of over-aggression from Pantheon this game has cost quite a bit. Have to be careful. Nico finds a fantastic route, flashes over, finds the ultimate. Great engage by Nico. Follow up by Pantheon, but the Orange Choo-Choo Train is here, along with a lot of damage from both Corki and Syndra. Syndra does end up going down to the Pantheon. And so does Renekton. A 1-for-1 trade so far. Corki moving forward. Gets stunned up and is taken down. However, the Fury is here. And a near ace. Nico barely able to get away with a sliver of skin. And there should be a third dragon going over to the side of Freljord. As Renekton is here, Nico is here. Looking for the play, Renekton trying to make sure that the Fury is not able to smite the dragon, forcing them off of it. And it's just Ornn and Nico who will win the smite fight. Nami will, with a tidal wave over the wall. Renekton now in a 1v2 versus Nami and the Fury, as everyone is joined in. A fantastic shockwave finds two. And that's two huge shutdowns going over to Demacia. This Renekton is an absolute menace. Not allowing anyone to pre-call, saying, not in my house. As Nico finds a great route into the Fury, and the Fury taken very, very low. Both Fury and Nami should be able to get away here, but they have to make sure that they move away. But Nico says, no, I'm here. Oh, ultimate goes wide. Not able to find what they want, but Dominus just popped. But Syndra is also here and takes down the Renekton. Nico taken very low, but is found for a double kill by Syndra. Well, looked very good, ends up going wide from the Nico, and they're not able to find anything there. As maybe a bit of greed from Nico, trying to find both, when instead ended up finding nobody. Very back and forth game. Gold lead basically even. Really anyone's game at this point, however. Very much so favoring Freljord with those 3 dragons. This next dragon in 3 minutes will be the Dragon Soul, if they can claim it. Renekton with a 60 CS gold lead has fallen quite a few times now. But is still a level ahead of the Ornn. But Ornn's saying, you can't ignore me, I have more than enough damage to make sure that you're not allowed to just hit this tower for free. Dominus popped. Ornn in a bit of trouble. Uses his own ultimate. Gets the connections. As a huge fight is almost breaking in the mid lane. Sorry guys, a bit of weird DC. For me, I can't really see anything. Renekton does find that bottom tower. Nico forced to flash away to get away from the Nefiri. Orianna flashes forward, tries to find the ultimate, but Corki able to get away with just his W. Pantheon trying to follow up with the Grand Starfall, but also finding nobody. Quite a bit of resources used, but nothing coming of it. Renekton's here, but Syndra finds a fantastic stun on both him and Nico. Have to be careful now. Quite a big chunk has been taken away from Renekton, one of their main frontliners. As this dragon is about 1 minute and 10 seconds away from spawning. Both teams trying to find a kill, trying to find a foothold. Nico clearing out vision this top side, trying to maybe threaten the Baron. Or vision for his team. Syndra, however, maybe a little bit ahead of herself. Nico looks for the ultimate, finds one, but in return will get taken down. As Orianna has arrived. Shockwave is available. Can she find a good use for it? Renekton taking a ton of damage. Pantheon as well. They find the Shockwave, but only onto Ornn. However, Ezreal able to get ahead and take down the Nami. Fantastic play here from Demacia to be able to find so many kills in what looked like a losing fight. Now it's just Fury. Have to be careful. Ornn tries to find the assassination onto the Orianna, but she's able to play very well with the distance and kite away. Now Fury now in trouble. Renekton finds the stun, but Flash will keep her alive. This should mean that the Dragon Soul is kept away from Freljord, as Demacia will take the first dragon of the game for themselves. Wow. What looked like a completely one fight for Freljord quickly turned on its head with some great play by Demacia. That's further 5 minutes that bought themselves from the Dragon Soul being on the table. As third items are being completed by everyone. Except maybe poor Ornn, who's still quite behind. 70 odd CS behind right now. Bit of damage going over to the Ornn. Both teams now posturing for this Baron. Ezreal doing a... Oh, wow. Fantastic engage onto the Shockwave. Found onto the Nami and the Ornn there. And Fury also now falling very low. Pantheon in trouble. Will be falling down here, but has his Guardian Angel. Renekton's here as well to make some space. This should mean that Baron is on the table. They're going for quite a strong dive here. But Fury, very slippery champion, able to get away. Will they look to play the Baron is the question. I would imagine so. Yes, they do. Pantheon, however, very low. They have to be careful here. Syndra is quite strong and has a good bit of range. Yep, exactly what I'm talking about. Ooh, as the Nefiri finds the Q onto the Renekton and punishes their over-aggression onto the Baron. But Ezreal finding every Q and then some onto the Corki. Finds a lot of damage down, takes him down. Nami picking up the Pantheon. As teleport from Ornn coming through. Ezreal, the only one really left healthy for his team. Baron is stopped, but... and Renekton is taken down, but nothing much comes of it. Definitely a bit of an overplay from the side of Demacia. As 2 minutes until Mountain Soul is back on the table for Freljord. Baron is still alive. So many towers are still left up from the outer towers. You know, we have tier 1 and tier for both top and mid lane for Demacia. Especially for a 27-minute game. You can see that quite a large gold lead right now starting to accumulate for the side. Well, I say large, about 2k for the side of Demacia. However, you got to remember that those Ornn items are online. Has already upgraded um, the Corki and himself. We can see the damage graph. Renekton pulling the damage for his team, and however, Syndra and Corki both have a very shared amount. As Grand Starfall coming through, looking for something, goes wide. Tidal Wave finds both Renekton and Pantheon. It engages onto the Ornn, not really the target you want. Oh no! As the Orianna is stunned up and taken down, Nico finds an ultimate, but only onto Ornn once again. Ornn eating all the CC, but no one's really able to take him down. Meanwhile, Nefiri over-aggress, trying to get the Ezreal. Ezreal able to get away with just a little bit of HP, and he will go down for his over-aggression, the Nefiri. As a Renekton now has to be careful, might be caught out here by the Syndra and the Nami. Stun finds it. He will go down, especially with Dragon up. This is just not what you want. This could be Dragon Soul going over to Freljord. Looks like the game's come alive a bit here. As this dragon is being taken down. However, Pantheon knows there is no Nefiri, so the smite steal is always possible. I'm sure Freljord knows that as well. They have to be careful here. As TP is coming through, Orianna is back on the map. Pantheon falling very low, getting caught out, but they find a fantastic shockwave that will take 3 down. And Ornn doing his best to try and find somebody, but no, a beautifully played shockwave. Orianna using the enemy's over-aggression onto his Pantheon against them, saying, you want to go after my Pantheon? Well, you take this for it. Especially just really well done. Really well played. And that's another time the dragon has gone down. That's another 5 minutes before Soul is back on the table. And with so many members down, this should be Baron over to the side of Demacia. Basically uncontested. Nefiri is around, but I doubt they'll be able to look for a steal. As the game keeps turning on its head. You know, it looks like it was a misstep by Demacia, and Freljord gets ahead, but then vice versa, and then vice versa, and then vice versa. With this, Demacia solidly in the lead. A nice 4k gold lead for themselves. 3.1 of it onto the Pantheon. 1.8k lead on the Renekton. And little leads for Freljord in the other lanes, but nothing too meaningful. As Ornn is caught out here, Renekton taking him down, followed up by Pantheon and Nico. He will fall. That's the tankiest member down for Freljord. And with Baron, this should mean many towers coming down as well. As Orianna being caught out by the Nefiri, Nefiri not able to find the damage that she needs to be able to take Orianna down. Grand Starfall from Pantheon, maybe a little bit presumptuous, thinking he could catch that Nefiri. as things start to quiet down again. Tier 2 top lane tower taken down. Demacia making the play onto this bot lane. Nefiri has to be careful. Is caught alone by every member. Smite goes down onto Nefiri. Stunned up. Looking to be in a lot of trouble here. Renekton almost finding everything onto him. Dominus has popped a huge teamfight that breaks away. Pantheon finds a spear onto Nefiri. She will go down. Ornn now in trouble, taking a ton of damage from Demacia. Very low. Shockwave finds Corki and Ornn. Takes them out. Corki able to just get away, but no! True Shot Barrage will find its mark and take him down from the back line. As this tier 2 not long for this world now, just Syndra and Nami here to try and protect it. As mid inhibitor goes down, 1 minute and 40 until Mountain is back on the table. But Freljord starting to come away at the seams here, not really able to find anything. A lot of members getting caught out, being picked off, or taken very low just as a fight kicks off. And it makes it just too hard for them to be able to contest and play these fights out. Renekton waiting in the wings. They were looking for a nice little Nico engage, but Syndra sniffs it out. Nefiri finding quite a bit of damage onto Orianna. Orianna Shockwave trying to be used on Nefiri goes completely wide. A big cooldown missing for this team fight. As Ornn teleports down. Demacia, all with a bit of damage on their members, have to be careful here. Dragon spawning in 4 seconds. Renekton tried to back away to heal up so he can teleport back, but he's not been given any breathing room. Each time he tries to go somewhere, he's just not allowed. Ooh, stun found onto Renekton. Has to be careful. Teleport coming through for Orianna. Not in the best of spots. A bit of a danger spot. But, wow, Nico finding a 3-man ultimate. Very, very well placed. Even though Shockwave was not around. They're able to find what they need there. But in response, Orianna and Nico both go down. And Renekton now as well. Say 2 for 3. Pantheon trying his best to find a little bit of space. No, he will be, or Ezreal will be taken out by Nefiri. Pantheon doing what he can, but he is unkillable. Just says, Nefiri and Ornn, you ain't got nothing on me. And he will take down Ornn. Wow. This Pantheon, full build, 14 kills, says, I take no nonsense from anyone. And as the dragon now being taken by the Pantheon here. This is again Soul being denied from Freljord. What looked like they were going to win that team fight quickly turned on its head. This Pantheon, doing what he wanted. Didn't even have Smite available for the dragon, but it goes uncontested. The next team fight could very well mean the end of this game for both teams, so they have to be very careful. Baron Nashor spawning. Scuttle Crab is grabbed over. Nico finds a good route onto the Nami. A lot of damage going down right before this Baron fight. Nefiri being caught out by the Renekton. Has to be careful. Oh, a fantastic True Shot Barrage. Half health the Corki. as this Baron fight should be underway. Both teams posturing, trying to find and engage to be able to take down their opponents. As a large minion wave pushing through the mid tower for Demacia. They're playing to their waves, very happy with it. Nami taken very, very low. Has to be careful here. As we're looking for Nico to engage, is a minion on the side, just looking and hunting. As this huge minion wave is pushing into the enemy base. If Freljord doesn't pull the trigger soon, this could be lights out for their tower. Ornn finds a fantastic ultimate and a great stun up, but Nico finds a counter engage, finds 3, and this should be lights out for Freljord. Demacia able to find whatever they need. Renekton says, screw this fight, I'm going to the base. Both towers coming down. Ornn follows, or Syndra follows, trying to do what she can. Renekton finding a lot of damage down to her. Is able to take down the Renekton, but not before she's put to half HP. Inhibitor does spawn, giving Freljord a little bit of breathing room. However, their Nexus is completely exposed. Inhibitor goes back down. This should mean that they have to be very careful, as both Pantheon and Orianna, when her teleport comes up, might be able to sneak their way into the base if they're, they try something like this again. Ooh, a great stun found onto the Ezreal, but Ezreal with that Zhonya's able to get away. However, his Arcane Shift not really finding where it needs to go. Goes into a wall. He's taken down by Syndra and Nami. But if you look at Pantheon, sneaking around, trying to find his way onto the Nexus, is ulting the Nexus as he knows the enemy team is going to be on Baron. There's only Ornn with a teleport on the side, but no, Pantheon is finding all the damage he needs. I think Ornn is just too little too late. Even if he completes a teleport, I don't think it matters. Ornn trying his best to stop the Pantheon flashing away, able to X-Peke the Nexus. And that's game number 2, going over to Demacia. We'll see you very soon for game number 3. Welcome back, guys. It is time for game number 3. Freljord fighting for their lives. They have to win this one to stay in the tournament. They have to reverse sweep to be able to advance. Whereas Demacia, 1 game away from victory. 1 game away from the finals. Will they manage it? Will they be able to find what they need? As we have, once again, some fairly odd matchups. We have Twisted Fate top versus Gwen. Ambessa versus Talon. Talon, very well known for being more of a solo queue jungler. And then a little more standard in the other lanes with Veigar versus Hui. Veigar maybe not the most played champion these days, but, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary. Vayne and Janna versus Tristana and Soraka. I imagine might be a little hard for the Vayne here. Quite a bit of a range difference, especially as the game goes on. But here we are, guys, for game number 3. Type in the chat who you are supporting, who you want to win to advance. And don't forget, whatever team advances will be playing against the Piltoverans? People from Piltover called the Piltovers, as they are the first team to advance to the finals for upper bracket. As things underway, gotta see how this top lane shapes up. It's been really the lane to look at, with quite a large CS lead in every single game for Linium over Loch Ness Nessie. As you can see, everything being about even so far. Nessie taking a bit of a beating from this Twisted Fate. I imagine we'll be going on hit with that PTA runestone or keystone. Both junglers fighting for this top lane. Scuttle Crab will be picked up by the Ambessa. Talon in a little bit of trouble, trying to get away. But such a maneuverable champion, able to escape with his life. Top lane Scuttle goes to Ambessa, bot lane Scuttle goes to Talon. But Ambessa, able to get that recall in, will be up for her camps just a bit faster than the Talon. Oh, it's a huge fight up in the top lane. Gwen versus Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate able to find that last auto attack, flashing away from Gwen, and will be able to take that first blood up in the top lane. Now, unfortunately, Peach Kyle, Piltover middle, lost their game, their match. As the game is once again quite a down, but quite a big CS lead being formed in this bot lane by the Tristana, as would be expected. That range difference really making all the difference in the world. However, in the top lane, Linium once again just bullying Nessie just a little bit. And Talon is here. They may be looking for a dive. Gwen using the ultimate to try and get some HP back and push out this wave. Talon finds the Mbessa. Both Mbessa and Gwen now in trouble. Have to be careful. Linium pushing the wave up. Nessie being left to fend for themselves. Nessie against the world here. But Hui coming through. Able to stop the dive. Great play by Nessie using that W to make sure that she is not punished. But here comes Veigar. Finds an easy Q onto the Mbessa. Mbessa will go down. Janna is here as well. Finds a tornado to cancel Nessie's recall. Wesley and Janna now looking to dive, but will be thwarted as both enemy laners pull up. Make sure that the wave does not hit the tower. And ends up being a very odd one-for-one trade. And the tempo terrorist strikes again. Sir Dig Inte, also known as Kenny, the tempo terrorist himself, making sure that Gwen is not able to recall efficiently. As Mbessa finds a good ultimate onto the bot lane, but takes a heap of damage in return, especially with Talon just in the wings, able to find a fantastic kill. Janna getting that kill credit, unfortunately, for the side of Demacia. But a good turnaround by Demacia from that aggressive play from Freljord. Gwen using the ultimate onto Linium. Linium forced to pop the Ghost in response. Taking a beating. There's a little bit of a CS lead starting to form up in the top lane as well. And in the mid lane. Freljord really using good leads on their mid and bot side right now. Linium doing his best to contain his CS lead as well on the top side. As the Vayne is left to fend for herself down on the bot lane. Pops the barrier. Kenny in time uses the shield, but it's not enough. Will fall to the Tristana E. As Kenny can do nothing but watch his AD carry get mauled to death. First dragon has spawned, Grubs has spawned, as Linium goes for a play onto Nord Stream, finds the gold card, stuns him, but Nord Stream, quick on his fingers, able to flash away, but does take quite a chunk of damage from the Veigar for it. Maraka giving Kenny a bit of his own medicine, stopping him from recalling. As Talon is able to pick up the grubs, uncontested. Ooh, Vayne in trouble. 3 people around her, but here comes Kenny on the Janna, able to maybe bail him out. Talon as well, finding a load of damage onto Soraka. Soraka will go down. Mbessa now in trouble, forced to flash away, but Veigar is just around the corner. Finds the flash QR takes down the Ambessa, and that should be first dragon of the game going over to the side of Demacia. Talon looking for a bit of a cheeky invade here. Should be able to get away scot-free from the Ambessa. As CS leads have started to close down a little bit. Bot lane still about 30 behind, however. A bit of cheeky stopping by Nessie of Linium's recall. Keep him in lane for just a little while longer. Imagine Linium has finished his Kraken, and that's why he wants to recall. As Soraka making her way up to the top lane. However, Talon is doing the same. Nessie, thinking that she can do this, is going up ahead. Talon is here, takes a large chunk out of her. However, Soraka tried to turn the tables, but no, not enough. Linium and Talon are able to take down Gwen. Soraka can do nothing but watch in horror as her top laner goes down. It's very well played by the side of Demacia to bait that in. Both teams trying to make a play there. Snowstream looking for his own play down in the bot lane. Finds the claw onto the Vayne. Tristana jumps in, finds the ultimate onto Kenny. Kenny taken very low, will go down to the Ambessa, but Talon is once again here, and a huge chunk of damage will come down. Linium teleporting, able to find the stun onto the Tristana. Northstream not long for this world with Talon and Twisted Fate both just barreling down on him. Soraka, once again, able to do nothing but gasp in horror as her team gets taken down. Meanwhile, Veigar, very happy to be sitting pretty in the mid lane, taking plates and free farming. Very scary champion once it gets going. Ooh, Sunny, fancy feat, able to flash away from that Janna tornado. However, Janna, with the ultimate, able to disengage, making sure that she does not go down. Northstream in trouble, forced to flash away from the Veigar cage, as Talon was just around the bend, ready to take him down. Top lane tower, not long for this world. Nessie popping the ultimate, trying to stop Linium from taking him down, but doesn't really do much, all for naught there. As it's a race to see who will get this first tower. I imagine Twisted Fate will have first push into it, and he does. At his first tower, going down once again in the top lane to Linium. Very good performance from Linium this series so far. I imagine the bot lane tower is not long for this world on Demasia's side. As Linium finds Gwen once again, Gwen trying to do her best, but Talon is here to make sure that it goes exactly as planned. Nessie will go down. As Mbessa able to pick up the first dragon of the game for themselves, for their team. Talon biting a bit more than they can chew. Does find a kill in return, however, to the Soraka, but will go down along with his support. Mbessa will quickly follow, but now Vayne in trouble. Not able to take on Sunny and Nord Stream. Ends up being a 3-for-2 favoring Freljord, while also picking up the dragon. As we see Maraka waddling to the mid lane, trying to find something to do. Looks like they're going to be going for some wards in the Herald, as Herald has indeed spawned. As Linium has shifted over to this bot lane, is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage to this tower. Tristana recalling. Linium knows there's no opposition. I think he might be able to take down that tower before anyone gets there, especially since Tristana doesn't really seem to know where she's going. And indeed he does. Takes down the second tower of the game. Is now looking to potentially collapse with his ultimate onto the enemy team. Have to be careful, as they know that he's able to get there just a bit faster than Gwen is. Bessa, however, in the spot lane. Sunny found out by the Talon. Tons of damage, but Maraka is there to save the day. Linium, however, gets ulted and taken down by the Mbessa and Gwen duo. Herald is, however, started for the side of Demacia. They do know that there's two members not there. As Wesley on the Veigar finding a lot of space. A great silence by Soraka will make sure that he does not go down. Fantastically played by Maraka to get out of that situation. However, Herald is indeed picked up by Demacia, but Gwen is picking up the first tower for her team. Oh, as a fantastic catch by Nord Stream, telling Kenny, you're not allowed to recall here. Takes down the Tempo Terrorist. Nord Stream playing very well this game. Really come alive, looking like he knows what's up. Linium has to be careful here. 4 members of the enemy team. He's in a bit of trouble. Pops the ghost to get away. But here comes Talon. Finds Maraka. Takes him down immediately. And they continue on. Tristana goes down. Mbessa goes down. This is turning into a disaster for Freljord. Nord Stream and Nessie able to get away, even with Nessie teleporting in to a completely dead play. What looked like it could have been a catch onto Linium, and it was indeed a fantastic bait, with Talon able to execute his target. Nessie fancies himself against Linium. Linium falling very low and does indeed go down. Bit of a misstep. Linium did have flash there. Could have gotten away. Potentially. However, tier 2 bot tower does end up going down. And Freljord looking to chase on, but has to be careful. Knows that they're very likely to get assassinated. Especially with the good disengage from Janna and Veigar. In the top lane, Gwen takes a tower. Veigar TPing just too little too late. As Talon finds a boatload of damage onto the Hui, takes him down even with Soraka there. It just meant nothing. Did not matter. Lights out for Nord Stream. Talon showing why he's a very fun and balanced champion. Dragon has spawned. There should be second dragon over to the side of Demacia. 2-1 in dragons right now. As both teams now should be shifting their attention over to that Baron. Liam finding a big push in the spot lane. Gwen recalling to potentially answer it. Hui is there as well, however. Have to be careful if both of them showed up down here. Could be a little bit dangerous for Liam. But he smells it out, drops a ward, and walks away. As Kenny finding a little bit of trouble there. Ambessa, lots of damage. Ooh, Linium in so much trouble. Gwen finding the ultimate onto Kenny, but he's able to disengage. And Linium just losing his flash for that play. As an assassination from both teams happened. Hui finding his full combo onto the Vayne, and Talon doing the same onto the Tristana. Such is the life of carries. AD carries not really loving their life this game. Both of them easily getting a one-pop banged. As Linium and Kenny are on the hunt. Both teams again posturing for this Baron. Veigar pushing quite up into the enemy bot lane. Bit of a death push being formed by Freljord. Talon jumping forward while he's rooted. Not the wisest choices. In a lot of trouble. Gets taken down. However, in the mid lane, Tristana is caught by the Veigar and Twisted Fate. Gwen trying to find some damage onto the enemy. Finds a huge ultimate onto the Vayne. Vayne will go down. Linium finding tons of damage in return. Ambessa going forward. Linium in trouble now. But no, instead it's Ambessa that falls. 3 members very low on the side of Demacia. Maraka and Nord Stream, only ones left alive. Wesley, however, oversteps his bounds, is taken down by the QW from Hui. And this quite chaotic fight breaks out. Ends up being a 3-4-3, I believe, in the end. Not really favoring either side very much. However, Veigar no longer has flash. Neither does Mbessa or Gwen. And so once again, the Baron posturing has begun. Talon finding Mbessa, doing his best to assassinate her, but no, his entire team is there. Talon overstepping his bounds will get taken down. But a fantastic flank from Linium and Vayne. But a bit of an overstep here. Linium now in trouble. Vayne in trouble. Vayne will go down. Nessie able to stay alive with the help of Soraka. But Wesley's here. Finds a ton of damage onto the enemy. Uses the ultimate but doesn't really assassinate anyone in the end. Soraka able to keep his team members alive. There's a huge chunk of damage goes over to Sunny. Sunny has to be careful, but Mbessa says enough of this and takes down Kenny. Much better trade this time in favor of Freljord as the dragon spawns. Mbessa decides to begin it by herself. There's not much that can really be done, however. Don't believe Demacia has the tools or tempo to be able to play this dragon. As, sure enough, dragon goes down to the side of Freljord. As Hui finding a chunk of damage onto the Vhagar, full combos him and he will go down as Linium and Soranai are here. Soranai, however, overstepping and getting taken out. Talon, however, finds the Soraka. Soraka is now down. The big tool that's been keeping all of their team members alive is gone. And it's a 3v3 in the mid lane. However, Mbessa is coming up from the wings as Nessie, maybe overstepping a little bit, takes quite a chunk of damage. Kenny almost taken down just from the artillery of the enemy. Forced to use the ultimate to heal up. Linium has to be careful. But great bait for Talon to take down the Tristana. But will pay with it with his life. Nessie looking to take down this mid lane tower. Does find it in the end. Is now in trouble. And will be falling here very quickly. Kenny getting that kill. Hui. Can't be recalling there. Linium popping the ghost saying, I want you. Notice as the Mbessa completely outplays her, finds tons of damage, but Mbessa will find the damage onto Kenny to take him down. Linium flashing forward, Moraka in trouble once again, able to get away with just a sliver of HP. As everyone walking away, licking their wounds. Baron is still on the table. However, neither team really able to do it. Neither team has the best tankiness to be able to take it either. Both teams once again posturing around the Baron, this time with a Freljord first on the move, taking vision control of the area. Nessie has to be careful, taking quite a big chunk from the Vhagar here. Kenny taking a huge chunk of damage, ends up going down to just a Hui Fear and QW plus passive. This Hui is very scary, especially to a level 12 Janna with very little resistances in HP. However, not much has come of it yet. Even with that pick, Freljord not feeling like they're able to do much with it. Kenny back on the map now. Will either team be able to pull the trigger on this Baron or find the picks necessary to be able to take it down? Find out next on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. As we are waiting. Feels like we've been doing this Baron dance for ages now. As Linium pushing up to the enemy inhibitor tower. The enemy a bit caught off guard with their pants down, finding a huge chunk of damage onto that tower. Hui forced to recall. Hui, however, does find his full combo onto Linium. Linium, barely able to survive it, is still burning down. Will go down to another Hui QW. Does end up taking that top tier 3, but at the cost of his own life and a shutdown. As Dragon spawns. Enemy has to be careful here. Mbessa taking a bit of damage from Talon. As she walks right back into that bush, knowing that the enemy is full well there. Ends up going down. Gwen now in trouble. Very low. Barely able to survive it. But will be going down here. Uses that Zhonya's when she was already in a safe spot. Bit of a misusage of that Zhonya. Should have just walked away a little further. As that should be Dragon over to the side of Demacia. As Twist of Fate is coming alive now very soon. Freljord should be aware of that, should be very careful, as if any of them are caught out on the map by themselves, that Twist of Fate Ultimate could come into place and take them out. As things are resetting once again for another nice little Baron dance. "32 minutes into the game, a full team wipe could mean lights out for either team. A little bit of Death Bush by the Janna and Talon. As we see, Veigar failed to take the ground before it resets. Talon looking for the assassination. Soraka trying to silence it. Barely gets away with her life. But Soranai on the vein, able to finish off that assassination, but will pay for it with their life. Sunny picking up that kill. As teleports are coming down, looks like the fight is breaking about. Mbessa ultimate goes wide. Gwen trying to find a lot of damage, does find quite a bit onto the enemy team. Flashes forward, but is quickly disengaged and punished for her transgressions. As the Tristana is caught by the Veigar cage and taken down. Only 2 members left of Freljord. Another Veigar cage, very with Jonathan. It finds the Mbessa, will go down to her GA. Nessie also caught out, and this should be game. Lights out. This is 30 plus second death timers. 50 plus on some members, and there is a full wave and a half coming through, and that should be game number 3 going over to Demacia. Congratulations to Demacia for being able to take down their opponents. Commiserations to Freljord. Unfortunately, not able to make it through this time. And there you have it, guys. Your second finalist is Demacia. Demacia versus Piltover in the upper bracket finals. We'll bring it up on screen for you guys now. Congratulations, Demacia. As there you have it, guys. You know, one of these fights late into the game can completely end the game. As we should be bringing up everything for you guys here. The finals. Here we are. We will have Demacia versus Piltovers in your grand finals, the winners finals. It is the first and second seed, Demacia being the first, Piltover being the second. And then Wuju style versus the Avarosans, Ionia versus Freljord in the losers finals for the third place match. For middle bracket, we will have Zon versus Demacia. Zon being the second seed and Demacia being the fourth seed for the grand finals, whereas the losers finals will be Piltover versus Winter's Claw Freljord for the third place match. As for lower bracket, we're not sure quite yet, guys. I still have both of the semifinals to play on Thursday, so we are not aware of that one just yet, but we'll be announcing it as soon as that is played out. And yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all had a very fun time joining me on this Caster Dusk for a little solo recast of everything going on. Very well done again to Demacia for taking that, having two teams in the finals, for one for upper, one for middle. And yeah, Freljord as well, having two teams, I believe, in the losers finals. Piltover having one in upper, the grand finals, and one in losers finals. And then both Zon and Ionia having one. Zon with one in grand finals and Ionia in losers finals. Should be very, very close for the points. A lot to play for. We'll have to see which, what comes out on top. I'm not sure how the standings for the points of Runeterra Rising works in terms of how everything is going. I know that if we were to show it on screen, it's not quite reflective just yet, but there's a good chance that I think either Demacia or Piltover can take it. I don't believe there's any other team in contention. Demacia obviously having quite a spring up with two teams in the finals right now. I believe in lower bracket, Demacia does have a chance of having a third team enter the finals if they're able to win. Piltover, again, has a chance of having another team entering. It would be their second team in finals if they win themselves. And then the others is Shurima and Freljord. Looks like Freljord, Piltover, and Demacia all showing up in all three brackets quite a bit, with a lone standee from some of the remaining regions for the other semi-finalists and finalists. So it should be very, very close. I think it really will come down to if Piltover can get another team in the grand finals, or if Demacia does it. I'm almost sure they'll take it, but we'll have to see. As I know, Piltover ended up with quite a lead after the normal standings. I believe they had 2 first seeds and 1 second seed for the Swiss standings, whereas Demacia had a 4th seed, a 1st seed, and don't know for lower bracket if it was 3rd, 4th, or 1st, 2nd seed for them. As you can see here. So this is only after the Swiss, guys. Keep in mind, we have not done anything for semifinals and finals, as it's too early to be able to do that. So you can see that Piltover has quite the hefty lead with 85 points. Yeah, but Demacia does have quite a strong amount of points coming through. I think they're guaranteed roughly 200 points, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll have to confirm in just a moment. So we'll have to see how it all ends out. Piltover obviously has 1 team in finals, so they're also guaranteed at least 100 points. And then, yeah, so it's 270 guaranteed from Demacia. I assume it's going to be somewhere in that 200 region for Piltover. Yeah, if Demacia is able to win both middle and upper bracket, they will be getting about 400 points in total, 200 each for winning. Whereas obviously if Piltover is able to take upper bracket, we'll also get 200 there. So it's anyone's game, really. We're not quite sure. We'll have to see how lower bracket ends up, and then who wins grand finals for each bracket. Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining me for this solo cast. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe not the most exciting of the world being alone, but I enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, guys. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, and have a good one.